All right, sixth grade, welcome back to another fun-filled, fantastic day at Project Lead the Way. Today we're going to be modeling how to construct a simple rocket prototype on Tinkercad. A couple things about our work plane. I currently have a mouse plugged into my laptop, but this is going to work on your keypad. You can actually scroll in and scroll out of your work plane if you want to zoom in or out to get a better look at what you're actually designing. I'm going to be showing you a couple of the different ribbon tools as we're going through and building this design as well. So to build a simple rocket prototype, I'm going to be using some basic shapes as well as grouping our pieces together so everything is cohesive and can be the same color. So I'm going to begin with a cylinder. I put this onto my work plane, and I want this to be a little bit taller, so I can either drag this up and down, or I can actually come over to this dimension and change it to what I want to be. We are going to change this to 45. So I type in 45, I press enter, and then it automatically shifts to that dimension. If I wanted to change the color, let's say I wanted to make this blue, or I wanted to make this green, it changed automatically to what I want the solid color to be. Next, I'm going to need a nose cone, which is the top of our rocket. There's a couple different nose cones you can choose from. We have a paraboloid, we have a simple cone. When you get into 8th grade, we'll discuss the difference between nose cones and why some are better than others. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to take a cone. Okay, you'll notice for some reason I'm not able to get this on top of my piece. I'm wondering, well, why isn't that working? Okay, the reason being is we are on one singular work plane right now. I've had a couple students have issues with being able to stack objects. You need to create a second work plane on top of the body of your rocket if you want to put something on top of it. So if I place that there, obviously sit on top, I'm going to go ahead and click this undo button or Control Z. All right, I come over to my work plane tool. I'm going to click, see how it lights up on top of my rocket body. And if I take this toggle, I can see that I've actually added another work plane on top of my original piece. So perfect, that looks great. I can take the cone now and place it directly on top of that body. I can change the color to whatever I would like it to be. We're going to go with blue. And once you are done with that, we can go ahead and click on work plane again, click off, and we are back to our original starting work plane. If you wanted to group these pieces together, all right, you are going to select Shift on your keyboard and then click both of the pieces. There we go. And group them. And so now that is one cohesive design. So if I was to move this around, it's all going to move together. All right, the very last thing that I would like you to put onto your simple rocket prototype would be some fins. I'm going to use the roof piece, bring this over. And what's really nice about Tinkercad is, again, very similar to when we were creating the body of the rocket, you can actually edit how thin or thick a piece is, adding those dimensions by simply dragging. Or you can type in here, I'm going to make this 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and make 3 of those. So change this to 4. Another one. Change that to 4. So they're all exactly the same size. I'm not going to edit the color. I don't really mind. I think that looks great. And then I'm going to begin actually dragging my pieces over to my rocket and beginning to place them on the body of my simple rocket prototype. Another way you can move pieces if you would like is actually to do the up and down arrows on your keyboard. You can move them to wherever you want them to be. And then these arrows that are curved will help you to edit the position in which your piece is actually rotated. It takes a little bit to get the hang of it. My recommendation is just play around with these arrows to actually get them to spin. So as I am shifting my fins to be at the base of my simple rocket prototype, one thing you could do is move this cursor back and forth to actually manipulate how much it turns. I'm going to go ahead and use the degree. That's what I prefer. So because I want this to turn counterclockwise, I'm going to put negative, and I want it to turn a negative 120 degrees, and then it spins. So I'm going to pause my video and go ahead and do that with all three of my shapes. All right, so at this point, I have all my shapes rotated to where I need them to be. And then I'm going to drag them a little bit closer to the rocket. And now you can see that I need them to be equidistant from each other on the rocket. So I'm going to position them to be about 1/3 of the way around. Then the last component of this would be turning them at the base to be facing correctly the base of that rocket. Okay, and then I can toggle this to get to that last piece. So again, I click the shape, and then I click on the base, and I turn it to actually be flush against the base of the rocket. Okay, so I'm going to pause my video just to get this perfectly lined up. It's going to take you a little bit to make it just right. All right, so I'm just finishing up with my last piece, and I'm actually using my arrows to get this to where I want it to be. And that is how you build a simple rocket prototype. So if you wanted to add 4 fins, that sounds fine. If you wanted to add 3 fins, it sounds great. You don't have to use the cone shape. Again, you can use something different. This would be how you create a simple rocket prototype on Tinkercad.